Uh-oh. Sorry, my screen disappeared. Welcome. I'm a few minutes early, but welcome, welcome. So, one thing fun I'm going to do tonight, and I'll mention this several times, but please leave a comment on where you're from. Now, if you're not subscribed, you might not be able to do that, and I apologize, but I'll do something fun again next week. Last week we had some folks that, if you were here, you know what happened, but it wasn't fun. So it was a few folks that were trolling and found us and made some rude comments and stuff. So I had to delete it. So this week I changed it to where you had to be subscribed to leave a comment for a day. I think it is, and you can and there's a delay between how quickly you can comment. So let me know where you're from. And hey from Illinois. Hey Deb. And hopefully don't be mad because I'll do something fun next week too, but try to get subscribed this week. I'm not trying to make you subscribe just to make you subscribe. It's just to try to guard against what happened last week, and because that was so rude and so not fun. So welcome. Hey Kelly. Yay. And I'll probably say that a few times because I know people will join in now and then and late. Um, hey Anne from Arlington, Virginia. Yay. Hey Melanie from Boise. Um, yeah, it was really today was our last warm day, and some of you might already be cold. Hey Cheryl. Hello, Frederica. Oh, it's good to see you from New Zealand. I wish it was warm here. It was warm here today, but it won't be warm here. It won't be warm here tomorrow. Hey, Brenda from Wisconsin. Yay. Yay. Um, yeah, so if you're just joining, I know there's more of you on than would have commented. I'm going to be doing something fun. Hey, Gwen, I'm going to do something fun, but you have to leave me a comment. So the easiest comment to make is just tell me where you're from. And I mean, it has to be during the live show. If you're watching this later and it's not during the live show, it doesn't count. And for those of you who aren't subscribed and can't leave a comment, I'm really sorry. But go ahead and do your subscription thing, and then you can do it next week. Next week will be fun too. So I hope everybody had a fabulous Christmas. Mine was really kind of quiet. Oh gosh, I lost you again. I keep touching the screen, and it makes you disappear. Mine was really kind of quiet and peaceful, and I can't tell you how much I appreciated that. It was a lot. We did get to see some people. We went and visited some family, and we kind of made that round, and that's so different for me now versus what it used to be. Because when I lived away from home, which was most of my lifetime, um, more than half of my lifetime, I lived away. Christmas was hard because you had to travel and you had to come home and you never got to spend Christmas in your own house. And, even if you decorated and you loved Christmas, you didn't really get to enjoy it too much. Because you can have all the people over you want, but if you're not there on the day of it, it took a little bit away from it. But I feel like there might have been one year I stayed home, but I don't think so. Maybe. I know I did one year at Thanksgiving and I didn't do that again. Um, but there might have been one Christmas that I stayed home. I don't really think so. I think I always came home on Christmas. Um, but yeah, so it's really nice to be living at home where my family is. And those of you whose family doesn't live where you live, you know the pain from whence I speak. It's not, I mean, we all love seeing family, but it's not fun to have to travel and stuff. And hey, Linda from Michigan. Hey, Donna from Gastonia. Catherine from Marietta. Mo from Delaware. Summer Day. Oh, Dutch Beauty. Wow. Good for you. Good for you. My friend Pat McCauley, who may or may not be on tonight, stitched Dutch Beauty several years ago, and it was on display in the shop for quite a while. It's a big one. She still says it's the biggest thing she's ever done. So that's fun. Sorry, I keep fiddling with my hair. It's just weird because it's a mirror image for me. Um, and I did take a bath for you guys. I know you won't be able to tell, but I did just get out of the shower and dry my hair and stuff, so I didn't look so grungy. Today we went over to the shop and worked on our storage. And so I knew it was going to be the last warm day, and I really meant to take down some of the outdoor Christmas stuff, not all of it, because I really like to leave it up until 12th day or somewhere thereabouts. And and I know it's going to be cold, really cold, probably too cold to get out there and take it down. So it might be up till February. So today I went over and Mr. Ponder was so helpful. He helped me shuffle around boxes and stuff, and we had to do an inventory count. And if you don't know, we are the U.S. distributor for Vetty Creations, which is Yvette Stanton's white workbooks. There's a lot of different ones. We don't have the newest ones. We do have them for sale in the shop, but we don't distribute them. But we distribute, I think there's 6 older titles. Everything that's been out for, 2 or 3 years comes through us. The other stuff comes through Search Press. I don't know how long we're going to do it, but we had to go do our inventory today, so that was interesting, and get all that stuff gathered up and counted. And in doing that, one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys is that I did come across a number of class kits, and so I knew I had some out there. So I think, and I will do my best to get them all online before New Year's Day. But for New Year's Day, we'll say New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the day after, just so we cover all the time zones. Um, we're going to put class kits on sale. And so I would love for them to find their forever homes and not just be taking up storage. We do have some in the shop, and we do sell them in the shop. But I'm going to put them on sale, and let's just say that we'll do 20% off. And so that'll be a little New Year's thing. And I don't know that I'll publicize it outside of this little video. So it'll be kind of a little gift for you, because some of them don't have a lot. Some of them there's only, maybe 3 or 4, or 1 or 2, and some of them, we have more. So every year I usually purchase extra class kits. And there's always somebody who can't make it for some reason or other. And sometimes I want the kit and sometimes I don't. And, if they tell me in enough time, I can resell the seat. And if not, then I can't. And a lot of times I'll refund the money just because they got sick or a family member had something going on. I'm not a jerk about that. So I try to make them feel okay about it, whatever they want. Um, Gift card or something, whatever. But I always end up with at least one class kit. And sometimes I intentionally buy extra ones. And and I try to give it enough value in the class that people don't get crazy upset, if we have a few extra that we sell later on. Most of the time, I don't sell them right after the class. Most of the time, I hold on to them for quite some time. Like some of these class kits that I have are from way back in the day when we still had Nicola coming over to teach. We were the first shop in the US that Nicola Parkman taught at in 2018, January of 2018. And then she went down to the attic, and then she came over several times after that, up until COVID. And at COVID, we kind of went a different path. We had to cancel everything, and it was just hard. And so we just went a different way, because we didn't want to be so overwhelmingly sampler focused. And yes, we do reproduction samplers, but we do original design that's not samplery. Some of it is, not all of it, but our original design is fun. And so we wanted to give ourselves a little breathing space. You know how that is. It's like you love your brothers and sisters, but you don't want to spend every single minute with them. And so that's the way it is. And so I still have class kits from Bathia, fully kitted, chart, silks, fabric, little things that we had in there to give away with it. Anyway, and there's some from Summer House Stitchworks. There are certainly some from Jeanette Douglas. There's some from Romy's Creations and from Manny DiDonna. I'm trying to think. Anyway, they will be out there under Alley Cats and Unicorns. And so if we have a little page set up right now, there's not much on it because we sporadically put things on it. We'll have a little page set up called Alley Cats and Unicorns. And so when you go to our website, if you click on the tab that says that, or you drop down in the menu and you look at Alley Cats and Unicorns, you might see something really cool and interesting out there. And some things are just one of. Like I know that there's some really amazing full sampler kits that I got at Winterthur one year that I never opened, that were only available at Winterthur. And I decided I was never going to stitch them and I put them out there for sale. I think there's one or two left. So, anyway, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the day after, we will put all of our class kits on sale under Alley Cats and Unicorns. Uh, I think all of them. I think I'll have time to get it done. Um, and then we're also going to revisit our, you know how we did that thing leading up to Black Friday? We did like designers. I forget what we called it now. Fabulous Fives or something like that. Because you know how wacky I am about alliterative things. I always forget to turn my phone off in here. I'm sorry. It's Elizabeth. Um, primitive hair. She's reminding me of something to say. Primitive hair. Yes, we do also have primitive hair kits. Thank you, Elizabeth. Because of that, I'll leave my phone on because she'll tell me things I need to know, and some of the others of you do too, and I appreciate that. So while you're on, before I forget, I said at the beginning. Oh, I held it up. That's a secret. Maybe not so secret. Maybe I will show you. I do this to Herschel. I hold it in my hand. I make him guess which hand it's in, and he has a really good smeller, so he always can. But I don't let him just smell it. He has to touch it with his paw, and then he'll get the treat, which he's really good at. So I have some things I want to give away, but I want you to make a comment and tell me where you're from. That's the easiest way to do it. And then I'll do a random draw after this is over. You have to do it during the live broadcast. If you see this later and you do it, I'm sorry. You can't participate, but you can participate in the floss tubes because we do that. We leave that open for a week. And if you're not subscribed, because of what happened last week, and I know I'm repeating this, but because of what happened last week where some trolls found us and made some naughty comments, very rude, not nice comments. Um, and they were slick about it. And I think they had it set up on a bot because it was really fast. Because of that, you can't comment unless you're subscribed. And it's not that I'm being a jerk to try to push up subscription numbers. It's that I'm trying to control what, you know, who can actually participate in our fun little games. So, hello from Minnesota, Chris. Hey, Elizabeth. Oh, you put it on there too. Good. Hey, Pat from Roanoke and Donna. It's nice to see you on here from Michigan. Yogi from Greenville. I haven't seen your name in a while. Three Dog Stitches from Maryland. Yay. And I guess that's Mary from Ann Arbor. So welcome, welcome. So what I'm going to give away through the random draw of these little mother of pearl thread winders, thread keeps. So you can wind the thread around it. You can put them through the little flower petals as thread keeps, and you can stitch through the little holes. And I only have 5 of them. And so I'm going to give all 5 away. And these are the creation of Jackie Duplessis. And so Jackie makes some beautiful mother of pearl thread winders. And then over the years we've bought them. And I didn't have a lot of these. And so I think I've already given some away to like a retreat, a local retreat that happened. And so I only have these 5. I went over to the shop and got them today in my little expedition I did. So 5 of you will get to win these. They're really very sweet and pretty. And I might have given them out at one of our Jackie Duplessis workshops too. I feel like I gave something out there. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so just tell me where you're from, and at the end of this, I'll do a random drawing for that. So, yes, and then look out on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the day after for the class kits in the Alley Cats and Unicorns, and also for the Friday Fives. Now, the Friday Fives, and we might add one more to it. I think there was one we didn't actually get to. But what we did there is we grouped 2 designers together each Friday, all through like the last half of October and November. And we put 5 charts in, and I think it was like $25 or something. I can't remember what it was. Don't hold me to that because I can't remember. It might have been 35. I really don't remember what it was, but whatever that price was. And it was a really good deal. Some of them you were basically getting at cost, but they were really good designers. Like I know some of the designers were Summer House Stitchworks, Hands on Design, Scarlet House, Queenstown Samplers. I know that Brenda Gervais was supposed to be in there. I can't remember if we got to her. She might be the one we didn't get to. With another designer, Blue Flower, Lindy stitches. Um, anyway, so if you remember that, it seems like it's been forever ago. It's been a couple of weeks ago. We'll put all those back out for order again because I know some of you missed it. Um, and I might I might do something special with that. I'm gonna think about it while we're talking. I might reduce the price a little bit more on them for you. But I don't think I'm going to advertise it outside of this group because I want you guys to just have fun with it. From Charleston, hey Karen, hey Kathy. Yes, so I appreciate the comments. Everybody's leaving a comment tonight if you didn't hear me, so that you can have a chance to win something. Okay, so all of that good stuff. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. So I hope I didn't bore you all to tears if you watched that floss tube with the talk of the yeah, they are pretty, Kathy. Thank you. I didn't make them. I don't know why I always say that when people compliment something. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like it's something I made. I didn't make it. Jackie made them. And so a lot of these are based on antiques. And then Jackie has a maker in another country. I want to say they come out of France. And she draws the sketches. She's a wonderful artist. And she draws the sketches and they create it. And they send her some prototypes. And then she approves it. And then they go back and make them. And so I have 5 of these left. Hey, Melanie. Oh, Melanie's saying hey to Karen. There you go. Hey, Linda. Oh, hey, Mary from Mississippi. Yay. Okay, so the floss tube video, I did do a lot of rambling. If you haven't seen it, I did talk a lot about kitting for the North Carolina sampler from Teresa Kogut. And we did put out there right now, you can order fabric for it. I am going to add some fabric to it tomorrow. What we put out there for it right now is what I think is the most beautiful one, which is Himalayan fog. And if you want it to look like this, so it's a little more, it looks a little more neutral in the picture, but if you look at this picture in person, it looks more golden. We'll put corn tassel out there too. It's a 37 count legacy linen. And the reason that I'm trying to offer legacy linens is because I can custom cut it with a 3-inch margin, which I think is what you all want at the end of the day. Bye, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is paramedic and she's got to go on a call. Bye. And so I'll put out their corn tassel for it in a custom cut, and I'll look and see what else I might have that you might like. And then, of course, if you want to stitch it, as I mentioned in the floss tube, on an overdyed linen, you can. You just need to get somebody to custom cut it for you, or buy a yard, or have a yard available in your stash. Because it even on a 40 count, it takes you over a fat half if you give any reasonable margin. So, and I know if Kim, the Contented Stitcher's on here, she will attach a piece of muslin or cloth to the side, and she uses a really small margin. That makes me really nervous to cut it that way. Not to necessarily stitch it that way, but to cut it that way. Even honestly, to stitch it that way, unless I've measured it every which way from Sunday, because it scares me. And I'm really good about cutting. When I cut fabric for custom cuts, I generally cut a little big versus a little small. And if you've gotten fabric from us, hopefully you might not have even noticed that, and that's great. You should never notice it unless it's too small, and hopefully you never notice that from us. We're pretty good about cutting it good. That I drill that into all of my helpers' heads and hands, and I cut a lot of the fabric, although Elizabeth cuts a whole lot of fabric when she's pulling orders. So let's talk about that too. So we shipped a ton, and I have a lot of stuff ready to go in the mail tomorrow that's already packed. And so we got through all of our blessing samplers that were there on Saturday when we left. They are all packed. If they didn't get their shipping label, they will first thing tomorrow morning. And I realize they may not make it to you by New Year's Day, but remember, you don't have to start it on New Year's Day. The goal of the blessing sampler is to start and finish in the month of January. So you'll have plenty of time. And then all of the North Carolina samplers that had been ordered through Saturday had shipped unless they needed kitting or we were just missing something. And so I've got to go back through some open orders, and then I will be calling everybody about kitting hopefully tomorrow and get you settled on your kitting. And so for the silks, I took a ton of time and I went through the sampler part by part, and I made a list of what shows up in the parts that I divided it into. And I won't go into all that again, but we are offering pre-orders for those silk kits. Um, they hopefully will be here within a week and a half. I've already ordered the Gloriana. I don't know how long that'll take, and the Whisper, but I know that needlepoint ink ships pretty fast. And we actually had a number of the needlepoint ink because we keep a really good back stock of needlepoint ink. So hopefully it won't take too long. And when I get the needlepoint ink in, I will let you know what I'm missing, and we may ship the partial and then catch up. We are going to be doing Zoom stitches together on that next year, and I'll be doing tutorials. Now, Tuesday of this week is our first Tuesday long dog stitch, ink circle stitch, and whatever you want to bring stitch. We're going to plan on doing that. I may be in and out a little bit because I might have some things I have to take care of that night, but we'll plan on doing it, and hopefully everything goes well for me and I'll be there the whole time. But if not, you might see me pop in and out a little bit, but that'll be okay. We'll just be stitching. So when we do that on Zoom Stitch, we just sit and stitch and chat. We had 4th Friday this past week. It was fun. So that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. So join us for Tuesday, Zoom Stitch. To do the Zoom Stitch, I will put that on just like the link to this. I'll put it on there earlier. I'll put it on our homepage, and you can just click on the link, and you can keep that link, and it's good every time we have that meeting. It's good. So you don't have to go out and, click it on the homepage. You'll have it. So I just want to say again, if you join late, make sure you leave me a comment and tell me where you're from, because for the people who are here live during the live thing, I'm going to do a little giveaway of these little mother of pearl keep thread winders. I think these are cool because you can put the thread through here, loop it through like you do a thread loop, and you can stitch in the middle, or you can use it as a winder. And on a winder, you just wind it around. I just think these little things are so pretty and sweet. So let's see, what else can I tell you about? There was something else that was on my mind that I needed to tell you about. Now I can't think of it. Been rambling for a minute or two. Oh, I want to show you something. So one of you gave me this one year, and it's called Work in Progress. And it is a really great book for whips. And I looked, and it's still available on Amazon. I don't know where my stitchy friend got it. Thank you for it. Did you see me just flip my hair like I was back in the 80s? I don't think you might be able to see it, but it's like a project tracker. And so it's good for a lot of things. But my friend gave it to me to keep up with my whips. And I have been doing that. And so it's got one page where you can record your whip and your start date, and another page where you can draw if you want to. And so I've got a really bad habit of forgetting what I finish in any given year. And so the last couple of years, I can't say that I captured them all in here, but I did start trying to put them in here. And it's really fun for me to look back and remember what I've actually finished in the year. Like this year, I finished Cat Rules from Lizzie Kate. It was one that I inherited that my friend Chris Bissett started, and she's gone now. She passed away, but I inherited it from her, and I finished stitching it this year. And I want to go back and add a little bit to it. I finished it back in May, but honestly, I would have forgotten that I finished that this year if it weren't written down here. And so this is for me. I know that a lot of us, myself included, have gotten the Needlework Press calendar and put stickers in it and stuff, and I love that. That's fun. But for me, this is just, I really like this because it has a place for you to write what it is, the start date, the due date if it had one, some notes, the objective, different tasks, different ideas. And there have been some like where I've written down, this one's pretty funny. I'll read it to you because it is really hilarious. It was the Bent Creek Halloween Pumpkin Pop. And I don't know if you remember me. I showed it in a video I started it in June of this year, and I finished it in like 2 weeks. I started it in June and finished it on July 3rd. And the idea that I wrote over here in this box, it says, I really hated stitching this with pearl cotton and stiff linen, but I like the finished piece. That's what it says. I think that's funny. And then I've got this page for 2025 finishes. Now, I've not been updating that because I've finished some more things. Um, but that's pretty good. I mean, gosh, I can count like 10 or 12 things there. And I know that I finished more since then. So, but there's a lot of things on here that I wouldn't remember that I had even stitched this year without writing it down. So this is a good one. If you like, and I don't have it, but you can, order it on Amazon. It's there. It's called Work in Progress, and it was created by Fringe. So this is the thing on the back, Fringe. And I'm pretty sure I remember who gave me this, but I don't want to say it out loud in case I'm wrong. But I love it. So if you're on or if you see this, know that I appreciated this and I use it a lot. So that was one thing I wanted to show you because we're at the end of the year, getting ready to start new. Hey, Michelle from Easley. Hey, Kathy from Cleveland. Cindy from Oregon. So if you're just joining and you didn't hear me say a few times before, make sure you leave me a comment and just tell me where you're from because I'm going to be giving these away at the end. So that's kind of cool. So I've got to go through and update that and get that ready for next year. So I felt kind of bad about the last floss tube that I did, just being all about the Blessing sampler and the North Carolina sampler and stuff. So the one that I'm going to do maybe tomorrow or probably tomorrow will be my goals for 2026. I don't know that I'm going to do a finish or a whip thing. I have more whips than there are blades of grass on the earth right now. So that might be a slight exaggeration, but just slight. I have many, many whips. And so instead of doing that, I think I'm going to do goals. So I made a little list at some point earlier today of some things that I really want to finish in the coming year. And I think that will help me focus. And so, I don't know how you do it, but that's not a bad way to start the year out. It doesn't have to be I have to finish this, but and a lot of you might do whip go. But some of mine aren't even whips. They're things that I just want to do. And so I think writing them down, I'll probably write them in that book that I just showed you. Writing them down will help me just gather my thoughts and it'll kind of embed it in my memory. And then I'll go back and get those things and finish them. So I think that this week's video is going to be on that. And then this next one's going to be funny. So the video after that you won't get to see my face. I know it's a tragedy. Says the Leo, right? I have void mirrors like the plague. It's shocking that I sit in front of this camera thing and do this for you guys because I do not like looking in the mirror. I never, ever have. I just don't like it, which is probably why my hair is always a mess, but that's okay. It's all right. I've made it through life. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to, not the next video this week, but the one after that is take you through some things that need to be fully finished. And so I'm going to set some goals on things to get fully finished in like the next 2 months. And so I want to take you through, they're not really whips because they've been stitched. They just need to be fully finished. And a number of them should be in the shop as models and they're not. So, hey, Liz. So that'll be like video number, let's see, we just did 48. That'll be 50. But you're probably only going to see my hands in the whips because I have to do this thing. And some of you may have done it. My dermatologist, because I'm very fair and very freckled, and I'm so pale that my freckles have faded. But if you ever see me with some sun on my face, you could see all my freckles. And my siblings have all had so much skin issues and, some of them have had some like cancer things taken off. Now they're a decade older than me, so they really were hardcore out in the sun. Whereas by the time I came around, um, at least by the time I was in my 20s, we had enough knowledge about what the sun did to you to not put baby oil on and lay out there in it. But I have some pretty bad burns when I was a young kid. And so they've given me this cream that I think it sounds horrible. I'm just gonna say it sounds horrible. And so they gave it to me last year. And before I got to use it, it started getting warm outside. And so I didn't do it because you can't be out in the sun. But apparently, it basically makes your face just peel really, really bad. And it's a cream. And he said, this is what he said to me. He said, try to put it on there, for as long as you can, at least a week. You're supposed to do it 2 weeks, but most people can't make it that long. And I'm like, dude, man, you're not selling this very well. So at Christmas, I asked my brother and my sister-in-law because I knew they had both done it. I said, well, A, what did it do to your skin afterwards? Because I didn't want it to you know, I didn't want it to make my skin look plasticky, for lack of a better word. And they said, oh, well, my sister-in-law, this is my sister-in-law. Oh, it looks horrible. She goes, she goes, but it's like you got a little mini facelift at the end. I was like, I don't need a little mini facelift. I don't like the look horrible part. And so I'm asking both of them, I said, what I'm really interested in is, does it hurt? And, they're like, well, and they didn't say no, which tells me that it hurts. They're like, well, it's like if you got really, really bad wind chapped, or, when you were young and your lips will get really chapped or something. I'm like, I didn't really get a lot from the conversation, but I think it's going to hurt. My husband made me some hot chocolate right before this started. And now it's warm and I forgot about it. So sorry about that. My throat was getting dry. He made me that because I made him breakfast and supper. And that never happens. Now, it was on both times, it was gravy and biscuit. It's just that tonight I made the eggs a little different way. I made these little hash brown muffin cups and baked them in there. But he really likes the gravy when I make it, and I don't do it very often because it's not very good for us. But he really likes it, and so we were trying to figure out what to do for dinner, and nobody wanted to go anywhere, and I was just as happy with gravy and biscuit as I was with anything else. His specialty is salmon. He cooks salmon really nicely, and he does these little Hasselback potato kind of things, and so usually it's salmon or spaghetti if you let him cook, and I'm okay with that. Or sausage and peppers, and that's good too. So anyway, that's why I got the hot chocolate. From Tucker, Georgia. I know exactly where that is. Used to live in Norcross. Hey, Terry. Hey, Barbara from Etowah. So let's see. I want to show you a sampler before I forget. Let me figure out where I put it. This one's in a frame, but I don't think I've shown it anywhere. It's really kind of pretty, and we haven't charted it yet. Sorry, my throat is so dry, but we will. All my marshmallows have melted. That's kind of sad. So, lots of glare. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to make it not be glare. I think we're just going to have glare. I'm going to quit flailing around with it, but it's very pretty. I like it because it has that tree coming out of the chimney, kind of, which I think is fantastic. And the reason why I like that is because I've actually seen old houses with chimneys that, are pretty much the house is gone. It's just the chimney, and there's trees growing out of it, which I love. So this is a very pretty one. It's not charted yet, but we will chart it. Nice earthy tones to it, browns and greens. Let me see what year this is. The stitcher's name is Susanna Clemens. Really pretty name. And it does not Does it have a year? It does not have a year. So it doesn't have a year. And it's got some long stitches in it, which are really nicely preserved because this frame job is gorgeous. I can tell you that it's hem stitch underneath that. So this is a mat board and it's underneath that. And her name is down here really pale. You really can't see it. Um, two partridges in a pear tree, two birds in a tree. It's got some long stitches on it and they are nicely preserved. This has been in its frame for quite some time. It's hem stitch, and I will see if I can show you how I know. But if you look at the very corner of it, and I know it's a lot of bad glare, I'm sorry. Um, you can see up in the corner the little hem stitch around it, around the edge, and you can see a little box. And that's how she did the corner of the hem stitch. So underneath this frame, it's hem stitched, which is nice. That means it was never nailed into a frame. It's just laid in there. So this is a really pretty one. I hope you like it. Um, I don't know if it'll be this year or not. It might be. We'll probably will try to get out some of the. It's got a hole in it. Probably try to get out some of the ones that are already charted because we have a bunch already charted. Those birds, those are parrots, and they're really pretty. And I don't even see any over one stitching except for her name is over one. But this is one that I shouldn't because it's very nicely conserved on the back. But I probably will take it out to see what the colors are. Are the words on the bottom of the tree? There are no words on the bottom of the tree, but down at the very bottom under the vase is her name. There's no words though under the tree. It's really kind of weird because there's like a kind of some dark green up around that tree, and the leaves on that tree are beautiful. See if I can get it in there. Look at the leaves on that tree. They're gorgeous. They're very unique. It's kind of an oak tree, I think. That's what that's supposed to be. Very, very pretty. Sorry about the glare. Can't fix it. But I just really love that it's sitting right. And I know it's meant to be maybe perspective. I don't know, but I've seen so many chimneys with trees growing out of them, old houses. Sometime I will show you a little slideshow. I was going to take my glasses off, but if today I can't see. A little slideshow of this gorgeous, and I mean stunning, Victorian, old folk Victorian, like the house that our shop is in. It's between here and Burnsville, if you guys are familiar with the area. And the whole back of the house is already fallen down, but the front is still there. And it is truly the most beautiful house I've ever seen in terms of a Victorian. And the property that it sits on is well taken care of. It's out in some farmland, and it's just off the interstate, but you can't see it from the interstate. You have to drive up the road a little bit. I only know it's there because my sweet husband, because he works for the DOT and he lived his whole life here, he knows where things are. And so when I was looking for, so when we bought the Baird house where the shop is, it had its original railing on the front, and in the pictures it did, the for sale pictures. And by the time we actually purchased it, the railing was gone, and there was never a railing on the back. And so the railing was gone, and so we were going to have to recreate it. And so we looked at railings all over the place, and he took me to every old Victorian in the area that he knew about. And I think that house, there's this book here for Western North Carolina called Cabins and Castles of Western North Carolina, and it really is cabins and castles, but it lists a lot of the old folk Victorians and where they are. A lot of them still are. There's actually 3 or 4 on it's a highway that comes out to the west. It's how we come home to get to our house on the regular road, not the back roads. But it's a very, very busy little highway, and there are 3 little Victorians that are right beside each other, really cool. And so seeing them decorated for Christmas is pretty neat. And there were, like, doctors and stuff like that that lived in them. And so sometime I'll show you some pictures of that house because it's gorgeous. I think that the family I think it's still owned by the original family, and I think that's who's taking care of it. They're not trying to keep it from falling down or trying to conserve it or anything because I think it's too far gone for that. But they are mowing the property around it and everything and protecting it. Like it says, no trespassing now. That didn't stop me. So I didn't touch it. I didn't damage it, but I did go up close enough to take pictures and see the back of it, which was already kind of falling in and stuff, which is really sad. But nothing gets to live forever, so you just have to enjoy it while it's here, as people as well as property. Um, and so that's a really pretty house. I'll show you that because at some point I want to put that into needlework. And so whenever I see really beautiful, cool houses in needlework, I think of the ones that I've seen in person, and I start thinking about how can I get that into needlework. So that's pretty fun. Um, let's see. I had so many other things I wanted to tell you guys. Now it's all left me, and I didn't bring my little paper in here that I had it written down. Well, you guys can ask me questions if you want to, and we can. I can make sure I cover off on that. Um, I can talk about workshops for the year. I'm trying to nail some down. Yeah, I like salmon too. It's good. I'm trying to nail down all of our workshops. I have several virtual workshops coming in, which is pretty cool. Um, I've got, I've got, I don't want to say it. I want to get them all nailed down and get the dates correct. And then I have some in-person ones. So Sharon Huffstetler from Thy Needles Work is going to be doing an in-person class on a Scottish sampler, and it's a really beautiful needle roll. And if you can come to that, that'll be great. That'll be in the spring. And then as of right now, we still expect to have Jackie Duplessis in May. So I don't have her projects yet, but those will be great. And that'll be fun. We've got Romy and Simona of Manny Di Donna coming back in the fall in September, which will be fantastic. And then we've got Linda Vincent should be popping in for a virtual class, that one that we talked about last year. I think she'll have her materials in hand, hopefully in the spring. And so we planned that for the summer. And then we've got drawing a blank on the name, which is not nice. We have another really, really fantastic designer on schedule for the fall to do a virtual class. So I think you'll have fun with that. And the one thing that we're working on putting together, we've had a lot of people ask us to do um, a sit and stitch. And I think I mentioned that before. We've talked about that a little bit. So on my schedule for the new year, it won't be this week, but it'll be the week after. I'm going to call some hotels and see if I can't a bigger space. I need a bigger space. Line that up for us. I will tell you something interesting that happened this week. Um, there's a really beautiful location right up the street from us, between us and where our old shop was called. It was a shop there called Honey in the Hive. And if you came to us, you probably saw it because this amazing artist that's been going around the country painting honeybees on different murals painted a bunch of honeybees on their building for them, just right on the edge of Weaverville, kind of on the south side of Weaverville, heading into Woodfin, which is where our shop is now. And it was on that same road that we're on right now, and the same road that our old shop was on. And so you had to pass by, and they sold beekeeping supplies as well as products, which was fun because they had this beautiful ribbon in there that I know Isabel from the Primitive Hair actually bought, and she used in one of her class pieces. And actually you could buy the ribbon with the chart for a long time afterwards. I think it was called Honey's Where the Heart Is, and we have a model of it up in our shop. But for a long time, the ribbon that she had with that was the same as or came from that shop, which was really pretty cool. And so they had a lot of neat stuff there, but they've just closed. And so when I saw them out there taking down the remainder of their signage and stuff, my mind started to race because we haven't been able to build our classroom building because all the builders here are still really, really busy. And all the craftsmen, not just builders, but all the craftsmen are still really busy trying to recover from building things back from what was lost in Helene, Hurricane Helene. And which is why our driveway was such a mess for a year. And so we finally got it paved because we were lucky. Um, and a paver stopped by that had some extra product and he did it for us. Um, but we haven't been able to engage a builder to build our classroom building. So I'm always on the lookout. And I looked at an old church out here one time where I live, and I decided that was too far away and too expensive. They wanted too much money for it. But an old church would have been really cool, I thought. And anyway, I looked at this space for Honey in the Hive, and it's perfect because it's on the main road between us and Weaverville, and the space is nice and big and open. And I knew that the woman that ran the shop when it opened had very sadly and unexpectedly been killed in a traffic accident in 2020. Her and her dog died in a traffic accident on Interstate 40 between here and Raleigh. And that, was just shocking to the whole community because the beekeeping community is really tight. They're like needle workers. They're really tight. And there are a lot of beekeepers here. And so it just rocked everybody's world. And another young woman and her boyfriend stepped in and ran the shop and kind of took it over and were kept it open. And they had two young children together. And she had recently left the business to do something in her career, but her boyfriend was still running it, and they were still together, of course, with their family and stuff. And she was still working there and supporting it. The two of them died in the four of them, both of them and their two boys were swept away in Hurricane Helene, not there from the shop, but from their home, and they died in the floodwaters of Hurricane Helene. And I knew about the tragedy of that family because it was horrific for a whole young family. And we had a lot of losses like that. They weren't unique in that respect, although it was horrible and very sad. And it was a very sad story because if they had stayed in their house, they would have survived. But but they panicked, and who wouldn't? When the waters were rising, and they left and they got swept away in the waters. And so the whole family died. And it was the same couple that was running that business. And so in doing my research about the building and stuff, that came up, and I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that that was them. And, I was really sad about that. But on top of that, as an accountant and a CPA, um, math, uh, that is a statistical anomaly. And I'm not real superstitious about stuff, but neither do I claim to understand things I don't understand. And I know that um, math is, what holds the universe together. Math is a whole language of its own, and the statistical probability of those two things happening is highly improbable. And so anyway, it scared me a little bit. And so I decided not to pursue that. So just so you know, that was a long story. Um, Two very, very awful tragedies, and I'm not making light of that at all. It shook me both when they happened. I just didn't know that the second one was related to that property. It shook the whole community. And of course there were a lot of bad things that happened in Helene, which is probably why I didn't really realize it was those that young family was related to that business. Um, but anyway, so the people that kept it running since Helene, they just couldn't do it anymore, and so they had to close the business. But I don't think it's right for us. We're not going to go that path. I try to listen to my heart about things like that, and if something doesn't feel right, I don't push it because I'm pretty good at making things happen when I want to, and knocking down barriers and stuff like that. And I don't feel like this is the battle that I should be fighting. And so I think we are going to look for a third party space that's big enough for us to have a sit and stitch retreat at, which is where I was going with that. And, you know, just hold steady till we find a builder that can build our little classroom building for us on our property. We own enough property there where the shop is to build it. Our problem is going to be parking, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. And so, we'll keep doing our big classes at the Fairfield. We are going to pop out and try to have a sit and stitch, a big retreat, more than our normal 25 people, at a local facility. If I can make it happen in 2026, I will. And if I can't, it'll be 2027. And so that's where we're headed with that. So that should be fun. So, hey, Kendra. So I just want to make sure I tell you guys one more time. So last time I'm going to say it, I promise. To make sure you leave a comment on here, so that you can try to win one of these 5 thread wonders. And I haven't said it in the last 30 minutes. If you can't comment, I'm really sorry, and I'm not being mean about it, but because of the trolls and the naughtiness, the naughty comments that got put on last week, I had to make it to where you have to be subscribed to the channel before you can comment. And not only do you have to be subscribed, you have to be subscribed for a day. And so subscribe this week. I'll do something fun next week for you, I promise. And you can always win on the FlossTube channel too. So I will be drawing those winners. So if you haven't watched last week's FlossTube, I'll probably be doing the drawing for that tomorrow. So you might want to go out and watch that. It's number 48. There were some fun things out there. And that's the other thing I wanted to tell you. I drop the ball sometimes. I know you're shocked at that, but I knew there was something else I was supposed to do last week and I forgot. And I honestly haven't had a chance to do it, but I will do probably Tuesday, if not tomorrow. In FlossTube 48, I talked about the wonderful gift that we got from Barbara Bell, of all the project bags that the proceeds will go to Herschel's Helpers, to our pet charity. It'll go to a local pet charity here. And so I said I would photograph all the bags and put them online, and I didn't. I forgot. And so we'll do that. There's a lot of them. And so it's going to take me a couple hours at least to do it, to photograph them and get it put online. But I will do that. And you can get out and purchase those this week. They'll be a very reasonable price, and 100% of the proceeds from that, because Barbara made and donated them all. So 100% of the proceeds go to pet charities here locally. And we did lose our largest pet shelter in Helene, and it has not reopened. And so the other shelters are really struggling to keep up with the population of the pets and rehoming pets and stuff. So it will be much needed and appreciated. So 100% of all of that will go to pet charities. And then I also showed in that video an acrylic thread keep that's a Herschel's Helpers. It's a little black cat. It's cute. And it has a little cat face on it. It's pretty cool. So 100% of that money goes to pet charities too. So that'll be fun. So don't forget to do that. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it. And then this week also, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, because I will be sending out a newsletter that's a long form newsletter like I used to do, where I tell a little story, write a little editorial or something in it. And I will be including in there the full pictures of both of the samplers that we're going to be giving away next year, and a little freebie chart. So you'll want to make sure that you're signed up for the newsletter and that you keep up with it next year, so that you can get those samplers. Even if you decide you don't want to stitch them, you might like the motifs and stuff from them, and maybe you can download them for that, because it's always fun to do that. And the next year is going to be a year of finishing. And so we're going to be getting a lot more tutorials out there on finishing. We've got a lot of finishing products that we really want to share with you and just help you get some small things done. I'm excited about it. One of the things that we're going to do is a finishing box in the month of August. And so we'll probably open it up for subscription in April, and it'll work like a little advent box, but it's only going to be 17 days. It's going to take you through August 1st, which is my birthday month, up through August 17th, I think 17th, which is National Black Cat Day. And in that box will be, each day will have a finishing item in it, and you'll be able to finish an ornament in there. And we'll probably give you an option to choose either a Halloween ornament or a Christmas ornament. We'll make two different. Most of the contents of the box will be the same. The only thing that'll be different will be the little chart that we include, whether it's Halloween or Christmas. And so we'll give you a chance to pick that. And that should be a whole lot of fun. I know that there's a lot of boxes out there, and we really don't want to copy what somebody else does. I really just want to give you another chance to get your finishing supplies and to get you comfortable with finishing a small ornament or something. Because, like me, when you see my video from a couple weeks, you'll see how much stuff I really need to sit down and finish. And I'm really comfortable with it. And a lot of it, I've picked up from all over the place. And I've taken a whole lot of classes in my lifetime. And then I've changed some things to make it do what I want it to do. And I've learned some things about mistakes that I've made. But I'm not a professional finisher. And I've watched a whole lot of Anna's videos, which I think those are gone now, unless she's put them back up. And hopefully one day she will. But I've taken classes with Kathy Haberman, who's really, I think, the one of the best finishers. I've taken classes with Beth Seal of Summer House Stitchwork. She's really great. Susan Greening Davis, all of her stuff is self finishing. And then Jackie Duplessis started out as a finisher, and her finishing techniques are sublime. They are absolutely the best. Hey, Jackie from Kansas City. Watching the mail for the blessing sampler. Great, great. Excellent. The Rhyolite linen is gorgeous. You're going to like that. And so if you are watching and you wanted to stitch on Ada, you can order that blessing sampler and just put a note in the notes where you check out that you'd like to stitch it on Ada. Hey, from Carrollton, Marcia, or Marshall. That might be Marshall. I can't tell from the name, but hey, from Carrollton. If you want to stitch it on Ada, I'm very happy to substitute an Ada in the right color. Just make a comment on there that you want to do it in Ada. And then the other thing that I will open up some more of, although you won't have it by January 1st, is some of the special cuts for the Midnight Ride Santa from Teresa Kogut. We opened it up for, I think, not a lot, maybe I don't know, a couple yards of 36 and 40 count of the I forget what color linen that is. It's a fox and rabbit linen. Somebody will tell me here in a minute. I always want to say saltbush, and it's not saltbush. It is something else, but whatever it is, we've got a number of more yards. And if I cut it a certain way, I can get 4 cuts in a yard, and I called it a fat chonk. And because there's no quilting term for it with that cut, it's about 13.5 inches wide and 36 inches long. And that lets you stitch that stocking on it. And so if you want to stitch that stocking from Teresa Kogut, the Midnight Ride Santa stocking, and you don't have your fabric yet, I'll put some more of that out there tomorrow and you can order it. We'll put everything we've got left. Sea Serpent. No, it's not Sea Serpent. Can't remember what it is. No, it's not Top Hat. It was one that wasn't what she called for, but it was a really good match, Yogi. It was a good match, and I can't remember what it is now, but anyway, yeah, Yogi, I think that is what she called for, but that's not what we had. It was something else that was just a good match. I can't remember, but anyway, we'll put the rest of that out there for you so you can order that. And we did get a ton of threads in just in the last few days. We got shipments from Gentle Arts, Weeks, and Classic Colorworks. Having said that, we're still missing a few colors, but I'm going to be putting in orders for all of those threads for that too. And then I will also be ordering thread kits for the free samplers that we're giving away. So I will talk about kitting for that on a floss tube in a couple weeks, sometime in January. I'll talk about the kitting for those samplers and what we recommend for that. I mean, if you've got stuff in stash, stitch some stash. That's always great for the samplers that we're giving away. But if you want to buy kits for it, of course, we'll have that. And we did both of those. We've got threads pulled for them in needlepoint ink silks. And we will also do a conversion to probably Cosmo and maybe DMC. We'll try to put it out in DMC for you too. I often don't convert to DMC just because um, I like Cosmo because I'm snotty about it. I don't mind DMC. DMC stitches beautifully, but I like the way Cosmo feels in my hand. I just like it. Now, full disclosure, I have one stitcher and he's an excellent stitcher. He stitches needlepoint and he does a lot of ecclesiastical stitching for churches and stuff, but he does not like Cosmo. He's the only person I've met that doesn't. Some of you might not. Ancient Ruin, that's it. Thank you very much, Mo. It's Ancient Ruin from Fox and Rabbit for that Santa thing. So we've got yardage left in 36 and 40. I don't think I had any 32, but I'll look real hard. I do have one piece of 32 in a wabi sabi linen from Teresa Vignette, which was perfect. And I cut it for a customer and gave her a piece of it. And I've got one left, and I forget what it was called. But it's a perfect cut for it. So if you want that, send me an email. It's a 32 count, but I cut it with a little extra margin so it fits on there. I only got 3 cuts out of that yard instead of 4, which is fine. It's fine. Because on 32 you needed more. But I found a fabric for it for those of you who didn't buy it in the Jingle Ball, because you had to have that pattern in the Jingle Ball to have it. She's going to release it in March. And I went ahead and picked some Ada for it that I thought was just bang on. And I've ordered it from Atomic Ranch in Lagana and in Ada, because we've got a lot of folks who just want to stitch on an even weave. And I will say this too, you might not know this, but 36 count Lagana it did come from Zweigert, but it was on this fabric. It wasn't Lagana. So 36 count even weave, like Lagana, was on this fabric called Medina. And it was kind of thin, and it's a great fabric. And it was the first and the only 36 count even weave that was available for a while. But Atomic Ranch, Rogue Fabrics, they talked to Zweigert and they got them to create the even weave on a non-Medina base, on a Zweigert base. And so it might be Lagana. I don't know what they're calling it. Anyway, we've ordered it. And so we'll be getting in some more of that too. And that's what I've ordered that fabric on for the March release of that stocking sampler, because I think a lot of you that didn't get it at Jingle Ball will want it. And so we'll put some thread kits together for that for March as well, and as well as having fabric also in a Lagana and an Ada. It'll be really pretty. So I think that might be it. I will sorry, my throat's getting dry, so maybe that's it. We will be back next Sunday night, and if you haven't commented here live, I'm sorry that you didn't get to do it and that you weren't able to do it, but I'll have something for you next Sunday too. We'll do something fun again, kind of like this next Sunday. So go ahead and get subscribed so that you can leave a comment. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's. Happy New Year. Thank you for being so supportive of our shop this year and every year. We're getting ready to go into our 12th year of business, and it has been a joyful, truly, truly joyful ride for me. I love it. I can't tell you how much I stand by that. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't change a thing about what I do. And the reason that I love it is because of all of you, because you make it so much fun for me. So thank you for doing that. But I really, really hope you all have a wonderful New Year's. And I hope that 2026 is wonderful to you. And I hope that we get to spend lots and lots and lots of time together. So enjoy your week, and thank you for logging on here tonight and chatting with me and hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And happy New Year. Have a great one. I'll see you again next week. Bye.